It's 7:02 p.m. I call this hearing to order. This meeting is being broadcast live and is being videotaped for a rebroadcast later on. I have to ask if anyone attending this meeting is making a recording. Okay, if the answer is no, we'll proceed with the 7 o'clock hearing. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Mr. and Mrs. Han,
Right here.
would you come to the table, please? Okay, can you explain what you wish to do at your property?
We're building a storage shed.
Okay,
We already have it up because we didn't realize that we were near the drain area because this is my neighbor's property and there's
Right.
bushes and trees surrounding it.
okay.
So we're around 65 feet away from it. So
Mhm.
and it's already up and we already built it. So I'm not sure.
Is it complete?
Nope, it's not complete yet.
All
We
right.
were told to stop when we got the call.
Yeah, I
The
think you,
enforcement order.
I believe we issued an enforcement order
Yep.
because you had not filed a request for determination of applicability with our commission.
Yep.
Is this something that you are building yourselves, or are you using a contractor to build it?
Building ourselves.
Okay. All right. Is this, did you use sonotubes?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do with the material that you excavated when you put in the sonotubes?
Oh, you mean like the soil, the
Yes.
dirt and stuff? We just spread it around in our garden, in our yard. We didn't, because it's only around 4 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and there was more rock than soil. So
Okay. It also appears that you wish to build a deck around your home. Is that correct?
yes, we haven't started that yet.
Okay. All right. Have you gotten building permits for this?
We applied for the permit for the shed. The
Mhm.
deck we have not
Okay.
because we didn't start building it yet. We're not starting till next year. So
I see.
I suggested that she incorporate it in the RDA since she was filing it anyway.
Okay, and also because it's within the buffer zone, so that was a smart thing to do. Okay. Are those the only changes you intend to make to your property, sir?
We want to build like the fence with we built the fence like, you know, from
we built a fence like on our property. Would that make any changes, or we would still have to go through the same thing if we built something else?
Well, it's not shown on the plan.
Oh no, we didn't put it on there because we're asking like with the fence because you're afraid that like any debris would fall into that area, correct? Is that the reason why?
Well, I mean, if it's a minor activity, you might not be required to file.
Okay.
It really depends on how invasive it is. It would have been nice if you had shown that on your RDA, but all right.
No, we just want to know. We don't plan on building a fence, but if it helps, like later on, if we have future like projects, then we would put up a fence.
Mhm.
But if it doesn't make a difference, we still have to apply and go through the hearing. Then there's no point of putting up a fence because it's not going to do anything.
Okay.
So that's just a question, but we can set that aside. You can.
All right. Any questions from the board?
So it's just the sitting on the sonotubes, the shed,
Yes.
and the deck would be the same type of thing?
The deck will be attached to the house, so the shed is like far away. But it probably would it be on something too?
How would it be supported? Okay.
it's gonna be on Sunday.
Okay. When do you think the shed's going to be finished?
Well, I was expect to be finished already, but
Are you doing this mostly on weekends?
weekend and I usually come home. I work around like 4, so I work from 4 to sundown.
Okay.
So hopefully, like I would say, like in 2 months, if everything go
Okay.
on plan.
Any other questions from the board? Are there any questions from the audience?
Yes, as a...
Hold it.
Okay.
Can you identify yourself and your address, please?
My name is Jeff Murray,
And what are you?
6 Winchester Ave.
Okay, you're on a butter of theirs?
Yes.
Okay.
As a point of order, The Auburn bylaw states that notification has to go out by certified mail. Return receipt requested or in-hand delivery. Neither have been done.
We did change that, I'm sorry. It's a certificate of mailing. She did give me the certificates.
Okay, the
It's a
bylaw,
yeah.
the bylaw
does
specifically
say-
states,
Right, it does say that, but in a
Certified
meeting,
mail.
we
This-
did change it.
Ms. Conroy is correct. We did amend our bylaw to indicate that, and I apologize if the bylaw has
Yeah.
not been amended and posted on the website, but she is correct about that. And clearly, you're here, so you did get notice.
okay.
Okay, so aside from that technical issue, do you have anything else?
Uh,
You want to touch this? Yes, I just sent them to the address that I got, yeah, a better list of.
Is there anything within the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission that you have a question about?
No,
The notice?
just the appropriateness of the issuance of a building permit
And-
without first going through the process.
But again, that's not within our jurisdiction. You recognize that, yes? Okay. Sir, can you identify yourself?
Yeah, Carl Westerman, you know.
And where,
number
and what do
six.
you, okay.
We're the only two here, but, you know, if the thing went out registered, you know, maybe a lot of other people didn't get the notice to be here or whatever. And, you know, we got.
I think Ms. Conroy can address
She's
that.
got, this is the list that she gave me if you wanted to,
No, it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look at them after, but,
Okay.
I mean, I got mine.
Mhm.
And the only reason I got it, and I took a look at it, and it didn't seem official. It looks like what they did was they just copied names and put them on a piece of paper and just mailed it to you.
Well, I think, my memory is that we decided to amend the service requirement because the cost of certified mail has gotten very prohibitive. And so I think we did it as an accommodation to applicants. But again, we did amend the bylaw. We had, it was actually fairly recently, and we will take steps to make sure that the bylaw, or the change to the bylaw is indicated and is available online so that there's no confusion. Sir?
I did check online, and the actual bylaw that states that was May 2012. It's stated as a wetlands revision.
Well, it's a living document, can be revised according to the
Yep,
needs of
no, I understand.
the board.
So that's been done since May of 2012.
Oh, yeah, it was done
Just
probably
did,
about
like-
2 months ago.
Yeah, just about 2 months ago, we changed it.
But thank you for
Okay.
drawing that to our attention.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Then the other questions I got is that, you know, the distance between the wetlands and like that, they've been measured within what you're supposed to be according to your law, to the building. And because if you get South Shore, you guys maybe been up there. You know,
Yes,
it's
sir,
a
we have.
massive, you know, drain off, and it comes right through.
Mhm.
And I tell you, we had a nightmare over the last 10, 12 years, you know. But the town come in, they took it all down. Whatever they did, they do a great job because we went from South Street through our yards,
Mhm.
across the street, Barber Ave, and everything else. My question is this going to affect that issue of the drainage and everything else? Because nothing's been flagged and nothing has ever, you know, been checked on it.
Well, again, the reason, what triggered jurisdiction was the fact there's a channel within 100 feet of their construction. There are no wetlands per se, there's no, it's a clearly defined channel. So in terms of the need to flag, there really is no need to flag.
Okay, maybe not flagging, but what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
I don't want to go through what we went on before.
Mhm.
And there's houses across the street. I mean, actually, their backyards, they're like swimming pools from, you know, everything that plugged up and going through the yards and collapse and whatever.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, are you saying that you think the runoff from the roof is going to create an additional load?
It could, you know, like I said, you know, I don't know.
Okay.
You guys are the pros, not me.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure that myself, the family, and the other neighbors are not going to go through what we went through before.
Okay.
And then the town come down and, you know, they fixed it. And the prior building inspector, I had asked him to talk to, you know, DPW about it, but I don't think he talked to him.
I did talk to Bill
Oh,
about it
okay.
recently, and
Yeah.
he said, you know, it is in fine condition, and it might not look like it is, but he said there's no problem there. right now.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that, you know, I don't want to go into the headache we went
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
So what do you feel that the problem was? Was it the drain itself was clogged, or was it the gradient and the slope or something, or?
They dug it all up, in fact.
Oh, I think the
they-
pipes are all collapsed and everything.
Oh, that's
This is
right.
the
'cause
old,
they-
this is
they
back when
filed
Bill
with
first
us, I
came
think.
here.
Mr.
Yeah.
Westerman, I think that was maybe going back 7 or 8 or maybe even 10 years ago. I remember I walked Barber Avenue with Dave Briggs when he was on the board.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, it was when I
that's
first
it.
started here, I think,
Um,
6 years ago.
A number of the basins were filled with sand and it was a
Right.
mess, but they did reconstruct it. And I'm assuming you haven't had any problems since the town rebuilt the system, is that right?
So far, but, you know, but I want to make an issue that you people know, because,
Okay.
I mean, I've never seen manholes in people's side yard,
Mhm.
and there's some of these houses got regular manholes.
That's right.
in it.
Yeah, there's an
And,
easement.
you know, but that's why I want to make sure that you guys are aware of it, and I'm worried about, you know, where the buffer zones are, and,
Okay,
you know, just because it's not wet today, what about tomorrow?
sure. All right, thank you. Any other comment? Is there anything else from the board? Okay. Is there a motion to close?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. All right, thank you very much. We will be rendering a decision on your request for determination of applicability, and you should get that probably in the next few days.
Okay,
All right.
great, you can call me. Okay?
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too.
I have 7:14.
7:15.
Okay, well, that's going to be more accurate than my watch. so I'll go
Verizon
with
says
that.
7:15.
Oh, well, then.
Oh, here we go.
Heaven for me,
Well, my-
forbid that I would.
You're
Argue
overruled.
with them, right?
That's fine. Oh, no.
Talking to a satellite, most likely.
I'm going to call the 7:15 hearing to order for Tesla Motors. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Is there anyone here for Tesla Motors? What, it might be you?
Hello,
Hi.
my name is Troy Wiegand. I'm a senior program manager for Tesla Motors, working specifically on the supercharger project.
Okay.
Oh, this is a really low chair.
We don't do
Switch
that
it
on
if you want.
purpose.
Good thing you've got
We
some
want to make
lights.
sure you're awake, so.
Right.
That's why we do it. Okay.
So Tesla Motors is an electric vehicle company that's currently building a supercharger network for our cars to be able to travel around the country and charge up the car in a quick fashion. So the supercharger is meant to be a quick charging station for Model S's, which is the current Tesla model. Auburn Mall is one site that we've been working on, and we're very interested and excited to hopefully have our supercharger site there. So
Okay.
we found that we were just barely within 100 feet of the water, so we filed a notice of intent with you guys.
All right. Was there some reason why you could not cite it beyond the 100 feet?
We base our designs on a lot of different factors. Originally, we were actually based on what we were working out with the landlord. We were located in a different corner of the mall.
Okay.
It turned out to be kind of a drainage nightmare, and to avoid that with our equipment and things like that, to not create any sort of just problems with parking, we decided to kind of move it. And then working with the utility and where they were able to serve the site itself,
Okay.
this is where we were able to come up with a resolution for, best for all parties.
Okay, so you will, this is going to be charged by National Grid. There'll be lines running from the street?
Not from the street. There's currently manholes in the parking lot.
Okay.
So we'll be coming right out of an existing manhole.
Okay, and did that also factor into where you're located, the charging station?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
In my notice of intent, I got your plan, but I did not see any scope of work or description of how the work was going to be performed. Can you go into that, please?
Sure. We will be excavating. Let me see here. I actually have the specs, I think.
It looks like this shows existing conditions, but it doesn't show built conditions.
No, it doesn't.
All right, it's not an as-built.
You're talking about like an actual construction site plan?
Right.
Let me see here. I'm sorry, I thought they
Yeah, I
probably
thought
sent
they
you
sent
those.
everything.
I would have made copies for you, but here's,
What we got was, we got the wetlands plan, but we didn't get the construction plan, and we typically do get a copy of that as part of the notice of
So many
intent.
plans,
Okay.
I can't believe it.
I do have a copy of the A1 sheet here with, that shows our enclosure and our posts. I only have one copy and I apologize for that.
Okay.
But I can describe the scope of work.
If you could maybe just, yeah, if you would describe the scope of work, that'd be helpful.
So essentially what we do is a primary extension from the utility's current location. So we'll be going from the manhole underground to our new transformer that we're setting. And the reason we need to do that is because it's a different voltage than a typical transformer would be for a commercial property. So it's 480 volt transformer, but still pretty standard. We put that just outside of an enclosure, and the enclosure encases our switchgear to serve our superchargers and our actual supercharger cabinets. Okay, supercharger cabinet is about 6.5 feet high, and it looks kind of like a little square refrigerator almost. It's got a door on the front, stuff like that. It's all NEMA 3 and all approved and everything like that. We also get it TUV inspected, third-party inspected, which is the same as a UL approval once everything's installed. So we do that within the enclosure, and then we come out of that enclosure underground to our posts. So when you look at the site, I actually have a good...
Those dark lines on the...
Yeah, I was wondering about
line.
that. So this is the pieces in bold black.
Correct.
On here, okay, out by the street.
Yep, so this is what the site would be if you were standing in the parking lot just looking at it right here. So that's like a standard view.
How many charging stations do you have?
So there's 4 stations, and that means there's going to be 8 spots, because each station serves two posts.
Got it.
Okay?
Almost like a gas pump.
Kind of like a gas pump.
Different.
Yeah, and it's similar. And
So this is the view looking into the parking lot from the street.
that's the view looking from the parking lot
Okay.
out towards the street.
Okay.
Because the enclosure is going to be
Oh,
close
I
to the
see.
driveway.
Okay.
It's going to be about 5 spaces in from the driveway, and then there's going to be 8 spots dedicated to our posts.
Oh, do you want to look at this one, Chuck?
This is from the
This
planning
was from
board?
the planning board.
Okay.
So apparently this was submitted to the planning board last night,
Correct, yep.
Wow.
and what action, if any, did they take?
They approved everything. Yep, unanimously.
That's nice.
So we're coming from manhole, and this big square here, about 6 spaces in here. This is the transformer in our enclosure. Okay? And there should be a blowed up version, I think, either A2 or 4. That's existing. That's the excavation we're gonna do.
Okay. Okay, so this is all excavated here. It's pretty much in a grass area in an island or something?
Correct, and it involves the trenching. Yep, there's the finished product right there. And you can see this is a little more zoomed up now, so you can see there's the transformer in the back there, closest to the curb.
Okay.
And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4 superchargers.
Get these pairs.
And they go to, and they're labeled the same way. 1A, 1B are served by 1, and etc.
How far down do you have to dig?
The most we'll have to dig would be for the primary, which would be max 30 inches of cover, but that's based on utility standards, so that's just my guess, 30 inches of cover.
Just curious.
I would imagine our secondaries going to the post are probably just like 24 inches of cover.
What do you do with the material that you dig up?
The excess,
Yeah.
we would haul away, but we would backfill, first with
Right.
native soil. So
Now, is this installation potentially compatible with non-Tesla vehicles or no?
currently, the superchargers cannot be used on anything but Tesla, but that's not because we're stuck up, because currently there's no other vehicles with the technology that can actually handle the DC charging direct to the battery.
You
The
just
way
released the patent though, right?
we did raise the patent, right? So there can be new developments and things like that. We do work hand in hand with some entities, depending that want to install other level 2 chargers.
So it wouldn't be compatible with, say, the Volt or like the plug-in version of the Prius?
Not right
Or
now.
any of the others at the
Those
moment?
cars unfortunately don't have the technology to actually handle it. Because what it is, so there's DC fast charging as it exists, and the Nissan Leaf can charge with DC fast charging. But
Okay.
the difference between that station and what the supercharger does is the supercharger actually bypasses the software and has a supercharger on board the Tesla. So that's the way that it can communicate to actually charge. So the station at full capacity is actually 135 kilowatts, which is a lot of power. And the Nissan Leaf, the current DC fast chargers, the highest I've seen them is 60 kilowatts. So this is quite a bit more.
So what about safety of the whole system and everything?
Mhm. So there's a lot of safety protocols inside the system. The supercharger is the delivery system, right? But the car is actually the remote. So the post is not active unless the supercharger sends power to the post. And the only way that would happen is if the car actually talks to the supercharger. So the supercharger is not on to the post unless the car comes up, talks to the supercharger first, and that would complete the circuit. So there's no possible way that the post itself, the plug, would actually have any power going to it.
What about the transformer area? Is that what's contained or something? Or?
The transformer area is your typical transformer. It's going to be exposed because they don't encase them for access issues. It's going to have the normal clearance that a transformer would have for the utility, all their requirements as they go.
That's defined by that.
So this is totally automated.
It is, yep, 24/7, no attendance or anything, no.
Are you concerned about vandalism?
Personally, I mean,
Let me ask you this: Have any of
Or
these
liability?
have any of these been
These
built?
are questions that
oh yeah, we have 130 stations already.
Okay.
Yeah.
And has vandalism been an issue at any of them, to your knowledge?
Not that I know of, no. And I do visit most of them frequently on the east side of the country here, and we have
where
them.
the vandals live.
Well, no, that's my area
Oh, I
is
see.
anything east of Denver. So, so I do visit them frequently, and I have not seen any problems. I mean, we're aware that there's going to be kind of typical problems, like maybe somebody backs into it or something. But as far as the spots themselves, I mean, if Model S's are using them, they have the backup camera, they have the sensors in the bumper. So if they hit the post, then wow. But
Is there some sort of protection for the transformer unit if there were a high-speed collision of a vehicle into it?
yes. So the transformer itself is protected by bollards per standard of the utility, like typical. The enclosure, if you look, actually has bollards inside the corners and the walls right there too. So that would be the enclosure. The enclosure is usually a pretty solid structure itself, but the bollards are definitely there, cement filled. And the posts themselves are actually made of bollards. So it's two bollards coming up with a junction box at the top and then skins over it. So aesthetically, it could be vandalized or damaged, but you would have to hit it real hard with a pretty big vehicle to actually take out even that post.
Transformer.
And because it's 24/7, someone, if they want to get a charge at 4 in the morning, could go there.
Correct.
Okay.
So is the thinking also, say, 5-10 years from now, if other companies license the appropriate patents or whatever, not
They gave
license,
the
use them,
patent away,
that you would potentially see other brands of vehicles able to use this installation? Then is that the hope?
Technology-wise, we're working on adaptation of a few different versions of the supercharger to be used in different aspects. Currently, the Tesla supercharging stations are free forever for Tesla users, so I can't speak to the long-term business plan that necessarily that the execs have in mind to how we're going to handle that. But
Okay.
I guess the short answer would be yes,
Okay.
but I can't guarantee that we're going to give away free energy to everybody forever.
Right. It just, speaking for myself, the thought crosses my mind, it's a little odd to have an installation that's dedicated to only one company. I'm just teasing out the idea, you're not going to have an installation for Tesla and then have another installation for Nissan, have another and it becomes kind of silly.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'll tell you, I've been in the EV industry for a long time before I worked for Tesla too, and seeing the struggles of creating a global standard are even sillier than building, I think, a dedicated thing, because it's definitely a chicken before the egg kind of situation, and so our long-term goal is definitely to cultivate the EV industry, and that's the truth. So right now, like I said, it is what it is. We are obviously a luxury car brand and we're trying to sell our cars, but we're also trying to do that responsibly by supporting that and taking away the range anxiety and things, and hopefully cultivating further things like that. So if we break the ice, you never know. The more universal chargers might come in and install right next to us, and we welcome that as well. So,
Are there any other charging stations in Worcester County, to your knowledge?
This one right at the Pub 99.
Oh, is that right?
yeah, I actually heard about that last night. Pub 99 or
Yep.
yeah. There's quite a few level 2, which is a 240 volt charger.
I think that's what that is. I'm not sure. There was one at the Cross Point in Lowell as well. There's only like 2 of them, so it's like 2 cars can go
Right.
to something.
now is that Tesla specific or is that different?
That's
different
not a
design?
Tesla. That's
Okay.
Yeah,
whatever
these are
the other
the
standard is.
superchargers are the only Tesla-specific charging stations currently, but the Tesla can charge on every station.
Okay.
So it comes with an adapter cord, so it can actually plug into a standard wall plug like that. It'll take a very long time.
take a long time.
Yeah. It can
Meter
charge on any of the public stations. It can charge on, and then it can charge on supercharger as well.
What is the time to full charge on this installation?
Supercharger, when I went, I had it down to about 7 miles, and I got a full charge in 45 minutes. So that's, and it's 265 mile rated range, 85 kilowatt hour battery.
See, if they were smart, they'd work with like Barnes and Noble, so you just go in a bookstore.
Or just go walk around the mall,
Well,
Go
see,
for a
that's
walk.
actually another, I said there's factors to where we install them. The first
That makes
factor
sense.
is picking locations. Number one is along routes, and then hopefully along cross sections, so we can hit more than one highway at
there
once.
anyway.
And then we
That's our
work
time.
we work with people like Simon, who owns Auburn Mall, and we have some pretty good partners like that we actually do. I actually just built one in Hamilton, New Jersey, right outside of Barnes and Noble. So we want our customers to have access to things, as much as we can at least. That's one of the ideas is to have bathrooms and things to do and stuff like that.
It's because no one wants to sit in their car waiting for 45 minutes.
Let's
Right.
see.
Yeah,
4 in
you'd
the
be
morning.
surprised though. I've seen a lot of people just sitting in their car because it has a full 3G web browser. It's got a 19-inch flat screen, so
Watch Breaking Bad on it.
you could watch.
When you're not driving.
Well, yeah.
You could do a lot of stuff in there. So
You'd like to think so.
I've seen one of those cars around town.
I think I've seen a couple, yeah.
well, you'll see a lot when the site opens, hopefully.
Any questions? Any other questions? Okay. Any comment from the audience? All right. There being none, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You.
Do you have a card for me?
I do. I have a couple for you guys. If you ever need anything from Tesla or anything, let me know.
Okay.
Borrow a car now and then.
Well, can you throw those to those
I'm a
guys?
loner,
Let's see.
Yeah, when the site opens, we do an inspection and then we release it. The car inside on the screen has a special supercharger map application. So you just hit the button and it shows you all the superchargers in the entire country. And so that way you can easily find the closest one. And so once that launches, I guarantee you'll see some Model S's stopping around. There's quite a few in Massachusetts, I know, and one of the owners actually was here last night to support, the planning board. And
He called me several times.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice boy.
Yeah.
Man.
so and then when it does open, I'm not sure. The Mass sites are a really big deal. We've been working on them really hard because we really want the sites in Mass. So currently there's Sagamore and then there's Auburn. Those are going to be the first 2 sites. So so we'll see where that goes. But usually, sometimes there's an opening, and when there is, there's lots of cars around. So you'll see 'em.
Basically, we'll get a lot of people going to the Cape, because they'll be going to here, and then they'll go to the next one, down in Sagamore.
So when do you think you'll build this?
Depending on what the permitting timeline is, right now with the planning board, they said they were going to do the final approval after August 11th. I think it was 11th, but I've heard 12th today.
It's a Tuesday.
Whatever that
So that'd be the
is.
12th then, because the 11th
Yeah,
is
the
the Monday.
12th.
Right.
Okay, so the 12th, they're gonna stamp it, I guess, and then the 20-day yeah, appeal period. So we have to decide if we're gonna begin construction or not during that appeal period, because I guess we're allowed to at risk. So other than that, we're wrapping up the building permit, which we applied for quite a while ago, and so we would probably break ground right around August 12th.
Okay. And what's the build out?
Anywhere between 3 and 4 weeks.
Okay.
So
Oh,
yeah.
that's not one.
So the hopes would be to be right after Labor Day-ish, you know, halfway through September about.
Very good.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.
Thank you, Troy.
So paperwork wise, do we get something or?
Yes, I'll be sending it to you. Do you want me to send it to,
Well, do you have contact with Melanie?
oh, yes,
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah. Send it to Melanie.
Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thank
have a
you.
good one.
Okay.
The next matter.
Good night.
Have a good
Good
one.
night. The next matter on our agenda is the 7:30 hearing, Facade Family LLC request for determination. I do not see Mr. Kravosky, or anyone else for that matter, from Facade Family LLC.
He's here for another one.
Did we hear from Mr. Kravosky or anyone?
No,
All
just
right.
had that on my desk when I came back. And when I left today till I came home, I had that.
Talking about the notice of appeal.
Right,
Okay.
that was it.
Well, why don't we just set that aside for the time being? He may come, he may not come,
All
given
right,
the basis of our decision at the last meeting on that project.
okay.
So we have some other items we can go over before the 7:45 hearing. The next item is 275 Washington Street, and that was a request for a certificate of compliance.
Right. Did anyone get over there to view that?
I did. I went over there actually today.
Okay.
And of course, we cannot see the... Bear with me for 1 second.
I have the as-built here.
Right, and I have a copy of it. They had put the detention system underground. Obviously, we can't see that. But the rest of the site does appear to be in conformance with the as-built plan that was submitted. Has anyone else gone out there?
I have not.
Okay. Well, again, speaking solely for myself, it appeared to be in compliance with the as-built plan. So may I have a motion? Or would you rather take a look yourself?
Do
No
we
pressure-
have any
no
other site
pressure.
visits coming up soon? I mean, otherwise, I'd just make a motion to accept your comments.
I don't see any other site visits coming up.
So just to grant the certificate of compliance?
Correct.
Okay. I would make a motion to grant the certificate of compliance based on your comments
All right. And the plan?
and the plan.
Yeah.
I
Is
would
there-
agree.
Okay. Is there a
So I
second?
I'll
Okay.
second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote.
All right, here's the certificate.
Not based on your comments alone.
Thank you. No, I wouldn't.
As trustworthy as
Thank-
you may be.
Thank God, no.
Change the date on this. I have that typed up for the 7th, the 9th.
You want me to do this one then?
Yeah, you can sign
Just the
that one,
ninth.
and I'll just change the date on it.
See the excavation over by the middle school, Chuck? It's
Not
weird
recently.
seeing the pit over there now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's that for the foundation?
I believe it's where they're putting in the detention
Oh,
mechanisms.
alright.
All these large pieces of yellow plastic. I didn't realize what they looked like.
Oh, okay.
I believe they're all branded
Thank you.
with Storm Tech. I'm like, wait a second, I've heard that
Oh,
brand
yeah,
name
yeah,
before.
yeah. Everybody always says that.
The next item on our agenda is Stormwater Management Casella Transfer Station. So Sheila, what's that all about?
They are, I think they're gonna be coming into the next meeting.
Okay,
Wait
so,
a minute. Yeah, I believe they're coming into the next one. I think they filed something.
What's the address? Is it the one on West Street?
Yes,
Okay.
Hardscrabble.
Oh, right, High School.
Yeah.
okay, so we don't have a plan yet or any?
Yeah, no,
All right, so we'll continue that over to the next meeting. The next item is the Auburn High School batting cage correspondence.
okay.
Correspondence dinner?
It says correspondence, C-E-N-T-S.
Correspondent.
Do you have something you
Did
want
I-
to share with us?
Yep.
Okay.
Batting cage.
I scanned these, didn't I?
Uh,
All right, I get so many interruptions. This is what was given to me by
I guess
Wayne,
Wayne
Bloomquist.
Yeah.
Showing me, maybe you were wondering what the batting cages look like before you were gonna make any decision on the shed that they wanted to put up.
mhm,
I mean, I don't know what's happened with this either.
okay.
But
So it sounds like they're gonna take soil out and put in stone dust.
that was the stone dust thing,
And
that was at the batting
artificial
cages. That's the final pictures of what it looks like.
So where on the site is this going to be
Oh, I
located?
see.
That was what they had asked for before that we approved.
So they dug up some stuff and put turf down, basically.
Yeah.
'Cause God forbid we have too much grass. Sorry. Was that allowed?
Yeah, but that's all
Sorry
right.
about that. I like
That makes you a
regular
grass
grass.
lover.
I'm a baseball player. I like
He
regular.
rolled it back there to show you what it looked like in that
Yes.
last picture.
Yeah. Yeah, one gets stuff pulled back. And we get to see what's underneath. That one. The carpet.
So they went ahead and did the work, is that right?
That was from before, that was like, in May, they asked to do the shed. And we said, we didn't hear anything what happened with the batting cages.
Right.
So at that point, I sent them notification that we wanted to find out what happened with the batting cages before we did anything with this shed. So I just got that from Wayne a
Okay.
couple weeks ago, after the last meeting.
I mean, reading this letter, it seems like they went ahead and did the work, just judging by the photographs.
Yeah,
On the
I mean,
batting cage?
On the batting
Yes,
cage.
we had approved that,
Okay.
yeah. We had approved that, but this was, seeing what happened there was pending
I got
the
it.
discussion on the shed. We
Right.
weren't gonna give them this or anything, discuss this until we heard what happened with that.
Oh,
Because they
okay.
never got any information back to us.
And they still haven't given us information, right?
Well, for that batting
Not,
cage,
not for the batting cage, but for the shed.
right, this was it.
All right. I mean, I don't think there's anything that we need to do on for the batting
Right,
cages.
right.
In terms of the shed, I mean, this was submitted to us months ago.
May 14th, I've got to request that,
Okay.
so it was before that.
What does the board think
April.
About,
about the shed? Should we send a letter asking him what their plans are?
Where on the site is this located?
Dunn's Brook.
yeah.
Here's the
I mean-
plan here, Dunn's Brook. And here, the tennis courts are here, and this is where they wanted to put it, where that little garden area was.
It's within our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I mean,
Here's
So where
the
are we
track.
talking?
I mean, at a
This
minimum, they
area
have to
here?
file an RDA.
yes.
Perhaps we could, maybe, if I could suggest, maybe sending a letter to Mr. Bloomquist asking him what the status is of the shed and whether they are going to be filing with us anytime
Okay.
soon.
Hmm.
And can I have a motion to that effect?
Oh, make a motion that we send a letter about the shed, asking him what the plans are and when they're gonna file with us.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Okay.
Okay. The next item I have is the Auburn Middle School.
That's just on the agenda. We
Okay.
just left that on in case something came up.
All right, so we can just, well, should it even be on the agenda? If there's no active issue, shouldn't it just come off?
There's certainly work being done, but
Yeah.
jurisdictional.
I mean, I think we can, if you want, we can carry it, but,
It's a big project.
oh, I know, it's a huge project.
Oh, yes.
I drove by there today.
Should we take a peek at it once in a while?
Absolutely. I mean, the structural steel is going up, and it's really coming together now. All right, we can carry it then.
Okay.
49 Wallace Avenue. This is what we had, the three of us had gone to see a few weeks ago. So I guess I'm curious why it's still on the agenda for tonight.
Nobody took it off?
Okay, well, I think we can. We made a
Okay,
determination
yeah.
that even
Oh,
though
this is the hillside.
even though there was evidence
Right.
that there was soil or dirt being placed on the property, it wasn't jurisdictional because the stream was at least, and the
Distance.
wetlands were at least 200 feet away. So I think Wallace Street, or Wallace Avenue rather, can come off. Okay. The next item is Hampton Street.
That was the one with you, Louise.
That's the one where there's all kinds of debris in the trench on Hampton Street behind Forest Park,
Okay,
across
that's
from
right.
the medical
Near
building.
the condo.
We're gonna go look at it.
Okay. We don't have an address, do we?
No, it's if you're walking up Hampton Street, it's a little ways before, well, there's a house on corner Kimball, it's before that.
Okay, before.
And it's right, I mean, if you get out and look on the sidewalk, it's right there. It's
Okay.
right, the drain comes out from under the parking lot.
Okay. Actually, that would be a good one to look at, and then we can determine, based on what we observe, maybe we can find out who the property owner is and then take some further action.
And
So-
while we're there, may I suggest another place that has been observed, some work in what I think is probably the wetland. If you remember, a couple of years ago, we had an issue with Forest Park doing some work along Packagug Street there near there.
Yes.
Well, that
Yes.
same, this is not Forest Park, though. This is
Packagug
the
Street.
homeowner next house down. And
Okay.
there's been some, I don't know if he's cutting trees in there or if he's bringing in, he's been cutting firewood.
Okay.
And there's a pile of wood
Approximate
chips and
address.
stuff. Couldn't find a number on the house. It's across from 281. The house directly
Oh.
across is 281.
What's the street?
On
Packagug.
Packagug,
Is
right on
Packagug?
Packagug.
Okay, across from 281.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at
Yeah,
that.
just before the first gate to, the wetland is from his house to the first gate. on,
Okay. Well, I
Forest
think
Park
we,
there.
I think we should definitely take a look
Yeah,
for the next meeting.
There's a couple of pallets in there and there's other debris.
Okay. All right, good. All right. It is now 7:46 p.m. and I would call to order the application of David Pappas for an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation for a property located at 125 West Street in Auburn, Mass. Is there a motion to open?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Good evening, sir.
Just for the record, Scott Morrison from Equitech, here on behalf of David Pappas. We filed an abbreviated notice of resource area delineation of a piece of property. Just to get you oriented, this is West Street here. Heads up, here's the CSX crossing, where the train crosses underneath West Street. So CSX continues this way. This is the Mass Turnpike here, down below, and then the Century Sportsman's Club is on that side. So it's kind of sandwiched in between all
Okay,
those.
so it's up there,
Yep.
where that bridge is, sort of.
Yeah, if you look, like this driveway here is this here.
Exactly.
It comes through, and then that pond, I believe, is right here.
Big area.
It's 26 acres.
Wow.
Um, So again, we've delineated bordering vegetated wetlands, which is marked here in green. There's a culvert underneath the CSX railway here, intermittent stream which flows down through here. There's a pond which is part of the Auburn Water District property here. There's an additional pond over here, up against the Mass Turnpike. There's an upland island here. This wetland kind of goes through, the intermittent stream cuts through here, bordering vegetated wetland kind of. There's really no defined channel through here, but you've got some bordering vegetated wetland. Again, through here, this is a big pond. There's also a pond here. This is just off-site. We've delineated, showing the 100-foot buffer zone here, extends down here. Like it said, this upland island here, buffer zone here. I didn't highlight it, but we've got buffer zone out there as well. I guess at this point, I'd ask the commission, you know, to come out and do a site inspection or potentially hire a peer review consultant to review the wetland boundary, whatever the commission feels more comfortable with.
I actually went to the property this morning, and I actually met I was walking around, Mr. Pappas came out to meet me, and so he actually was kind enough to do a walking tour of the property, and it's a large parcel.
Yeah.
I absolutely think at a minimum we need to take a look, preferably with you in attendance, and then depending on what we see, maybe at that point we can consider whether we need a peer review or not. I just it's a big parcel of land, you know.
So a lot of the wetlands are pretty straightforward. Like here, it drops down pretty steep to the wetland. Here, it's pretty steep to the wetland around here as well. It's a little bit flat in through here, and then kind of steep through here. But
Yeah, there's some interesting topography on that.
Yeah, I'd say if the commission has, I'd probably give you at least a couple hours or something to go to really get comfortable, to look at, walk all the wetland boundaries to see if it's satisfactory to you or if you feel more comfortable having a peer review consultant. So if you want to schedule something, I'd be happy to attend.
Okay.
Sure.
I know I can't do it this weekend, but I'm available the following weekend.
That'd be what, first or something? Or
I'm going to be away the following weekend.
Okay.
That's the first part.
I think it is.
Yeah.
the second, yeah.
Yeah, second, yeah.
Well.
Second.
Or the ninth, or I don't know.
I mean,
what we wanna
our next meeting isn't for 3 weeks.
13th, right.
do. So we could try for the ninth. If people are gonna be around.
I'll be around.
I'll be around.
Okay. August 9th?
Yeah, let's walk around.
Is that good for you,
Around.
Is that
Scott?
good for you?
Yep, that works for me.
Okay.
Any specific time?
We usually try to schedule these for like 9 o'clock
Okay.
in the morning.
Okay.
Bring bug repellent. It's a big
Well,
area.
It's very buggy, and make sure
Long
you wear
pants,
long pants.
ticks.
Yeah.
In fact, Mr. Pappas warned me about tick activity.
Looks like
so,
there's some grade too.
Is that-
That'd be a good one.
yeah, you'll get a good
There's
workout.
some slopes in there.
There is.
According to this.
Yeah. So for hike.
It's an interesting parcel.
So I guess based upon that, we'd certainly be willing to continue to the next, we'll just simply continue to the next meeting.
And that was gonna be my
which
next
is,
question. It'll be August 13th.
Okay.
And Sheila, what time?
I'm going to say 7 o'clock.
Okay, we have 2 Winchester
Better not
Avenue.
say 9 o'clock.
Okay. Taxing you, Sheila?
Yes.
Okay. I see farther down our agenda
Okay, so
that
you could sign
that
that.
you had the homeowner at 2 Winchester coming in on August 13th too. Are they scheduled for a specific time?
Who's coming in?
2 Winchester Avenue?
Um,
If not, we can schedule Pappas project for 7 o'clock. Shall we do that?
all right. Yeah, why don't we do Pappas at 7?
Okay.
And then I can have that 7:15, 7:30.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Scott.
And probably the best place to meet is just,
That cart path.
yeah, either the cart path here, or if you just pull up, I think we parked on the side of the road up closer to the, up here.
Okay.
We'll just plan on pulling in the cart path. I think you can do it as long as we don't get substantial rain.
Oh, Exactly.
And then we'll all get stuck.
If it's a monsoon on August 9th, then you're probably not going to see us. Do you have a card?
Yes.
Okay,
You know what, I'll give you my cell phone as well.
great. Just in case anything happens.
So many documents.
And I can get emails on my phone, so if you want to
Fancy.
send out an email or call the cell phone.
Congratulations.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right,
the
thank you.
21st century,
Thank you,
Chuck.
Scott.
So we need a motion or anything to continue or anything like that?
Do we need to continue?
That's a good
All right,
question.
may I have a motion to continue the public hearing to August 13th at 7 PM?
I will so move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's a vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Was that a rhetorical question?
No, it was not rhetorical. That crossed my mind. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is the gas pipeline proposed to run from Richmond to Dragon. I think Sheila's given us some information about that.
More about it in the paper every once in a while too. There
Mhm.
people in those areas are protesting crazy. They're going to be going through wetlands. They're going to be digging up private property.
It makes one wonder about eminent domain and how homeowners are going to be compensated. But do we have any information that this is going to have a direct impact on Auburn?
I didn't hear anything except, you know, what's in there.
Right.
We know the endpoints.
They sent that email,
Yeah,
you know,
one's in
wanting
Richmond,
it
the
to
other one's in Dragon,
contact whomever.
Richmond, Mass.
I think.
So can we pull up a map and just
Goes
kind
to
of eyeball
Virginia?
it? Dan,
What's that?
could you pull up a map of Massachusetts?
Yeah, I know you can do the earth.
Yeah, we'll start with the Earth.
Sort of goes, what, like Richmond to Drake it?
Yeah, like, just to see if we're even close.
See, I kind of think we're not.
It's 2 hours.
Wait,
Oh, so this isn't, so, yeah. So
Actually-
it's like, well, if
that's
they go
the pipe.
along the Mass Pike.
Yeah,
It depends if they,
I tend to think they
they're
there's
talking
probably...
about drawing a.
you know, who knows
more
where
or
the line's
less.
gonna go, I guess.
That-
There's
That's
already
a-
a gas
it's
pipeline
all
in
the
Drayton.
way
Is that
from
because they're connected to
distance?
that one?
Uh-huh.
Did they talk about, okay, 129 miles.
Wait a second.
miles.
Okay.
Entering Mass in Berkshire County, connecting in Drake it. Through New York State, entering Mass in Berkshire, well,
Have
There
to
it
be a
is.
toll.
Rural
and
open space.
probably not following the pike.
Good
Well,
one, right?
no.
Well, I
But,
don't know. I mean,
wow,
You would assume it'd be more or less a straight line. Maybe that's not...
that's going way north of us.
That's exactly right.
It depends on,
It's not even,
I think it's unlikely it's going to affect
I wonder
Auburn.
where it goes vis-a-vis Quabbin.
That's a good point.
North, I would assume, but that's just
North
an
would be
assumption.
closer than going south.
but
Wow.
just as a matter of
Probably-
kind of,
Go ahead.
sorry, as a matter of how we deal, this is essentially utility, so we wouldn't legally be able to
And it has nothing to do with
do
Auburn.
anything about having it
No.
through, right? Because they would fall into that.
It's
I would think
unlikely
a
it's
normal
coming down
gas
our way,
pipeline would
I
be
would
the same
think.
thing. But this is more like, we don't like the idea.
This is informational
But-
from MACC.
But we'd have to know the path of the pipeline. We'd have to know where they're intending for it.
Right,
to
but I think,
go.
Dan, it wouldn't matter. I mean, it'd
It
be,
doesn't, it's not.
it's a utility, so they can basically, that's what they would say.
And-
But they would
I
still
think
have
the-
to come.
I think the point is they want
For us.
support from all the conservation commissions to speak out and say, don't destroy the environment, even though it's not in our jurisdiction.
And then there's the whole fracked gas thing, they want to get involved in that.
Yeah.
Well,
Talk
we're not
about
there
it.
yet. Well, it says here, it says that, I'm looking at, on page 9, it says, last paragraph, MACC will be scheduling meetings this summer for conservation commissions along the proposed pipeline route to discuss the regulatory process for pipeline approval, how commissions can participate, and so on. It says if you are not on MACC's email distribution list for that and are interested, please email Kinder Morgan Energy Partners. I'm sorry, no, the article ends. I don't know who you email.
No, well, no, it continues up there in the next column, Eugene
Oh.
Benson and
And
something.
so, I mean, does the board want to take a position on this? I think
As a board,
well, we agree that disrupting wetlands is bad.
sure.
I mean, I have a personal opinion, but that's not the opinion of the commission.
Mhm.
Destroying natural habitat is bad.
And personally, I tend to agree with their skepticism about putting in more long-term fossil fuel infrastructure investments.
And essentially,
That's
that it's
just
gonna-
me.
It's going to be.
I think that's the
fracked
wrong
gas.
the wrong direction to be going.
It's
But
going to serve fracked gas from New York to Boston, essentially. Is their concern. But
Well, I mean, we can request more information from Mr. Benson if that is the desire of the board.
I'd like to know where it's going.
I agree with that.
Okay.
so why don't we
Can we
craft an
contact
email?
them?
I'll make a motion that we send an email asking if they have a proposed plan as to where the pipeline's going to be and whether or not it would go through our town. It would go through our town.
Okay.
Whether we have any direct involvement.
Direct impact. Yeah.
I mean, I think again, just we don't know much, and this would be an effort or our chance to find out more about it clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's approved. Okay.
It's interesting, we see both this and Tesla in the same meeting. It's like two different futures.
Yeah, well.
True.
Because you can make electricity from anything. It can be a green source or a non-green source.
The next item on our agenda is Hill Street, Prospect Street. And I actually went to 71 Hill Street again today. Dan, you and I had gone there, but we had not gone onto the property. And
It's a large site.
it is. Well, I did go onto the property today, and I did see, I think someone, Sheila, maybe it was you, had sent a photograph of, that's not it, of grass clippings in what appeared to be a wetland, or near a wetland. And I saw those today.
Yeah, I believe Lynn and I saw those when we were there.
Mm-hmm. You send that to me? Someone did.
Yeah, it wasn't me, I didn't take those pictures.
Okay.
That's an old picture.
Yeah, that
See,
doesn't
there's no
look like,
leaves on the
that's not
tree.
this season.
No,
It's not,
I-
right,
yeah.
but looking at this picture, I could, yeah, right, because, of course, but I could identify where the grass clippings were, and there are clearly grass clippings near that area.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a drainage swale at the street, on the side of Hill Street, and it does appear to be a wetland area. So,
Oh, so is this the area that it was kind of hard to tell that was hidden with other vegetation
yeah,
when
it was
we
heavily
visited?
heavily
Okay.
vegetated. So, based on what I saw, I'm convinced that it is a wetland and that those grass clippings should be removed. So, I don't know how the rest of you feel, but
Can I take a look at that photo?
sure. And again, you're absolutely right. It was taken probably in the fall.
That property, they came in with a bucket and gouged out a trench.
Mhm.
They brought in, cut down a whole bunch of trees, brought in a whole bunch of fill, all in that site. And I thought someone had said at some point that there was just like springs there causing the water.
Uh-huh. I don't know if there's groundwater there or not. There's a clearly defined drainage swale
Yeah,
along Hill Street that actually goes on and borders on to Prospect Street as well.
It does look like there's a bunch of filling and grading that has taken place.
And it seemed awful wet back there. So in any event, based on my observation, I think an enforcement order is warranted. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. All right. So under enforcement orders, there's a notation here that the owner of 2 Winchester Avenue is going to come in to attend our next meeting on August 13th.
Yeah.
Now, I had signed an enforcement order at the last meeting,
Yeah?
but I don't think we ratified that. So,
So,
may I have a motion to ratify the enforcement order that I signed back on July 9th?
I will so move.
A second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
What,
that's the new one.
this doesn't mention vis-à-vis the same property. Did we send a letter to the highway department inquiring about the culvert at the corner?
Well,
I sent an email
to Mr. Coyle,
to Bill.
did you get a
Check
response?
it out. He checked it out and he said it might not look good, but he said it's solid, like it's safe and there's nothing to worry
We saw
about.
evidence that the wall underneath the pipe
No.
is coming down.
He may have looked at something different than what we were looking at. That doesn't sound right.
Are you talking at like number 2 Winchester Ave in
This-
their backyard?
it's two
There was a section of the banking that was collapsing underneath a culvert that didn't even really look like a culvert.
It's not on
Just a
Winchester,
PVC
it's on
pipe.
South Street.
South Street,
It's
right.
where the guardrail is, and it's where they
Yeah,
actually,
they replaced all that.
you're right.
Yeah, right.
And
It
as
seemed
Mr. Westerman
inadequate.
said, they did replace it. The problem is that the supporting wall under that pipe on South Street, it was supported with cinder blocks, and the cinder blocks were all starting to come out.
Okay.
So it based on our, unscientific, without an
Yeah.
engineering
It
It
didn't
background.
look right.
It
Yeah.
appeared
didn't
that,
look right.
there was a problem of it being unstable, and that was gonna collapse. So, I think maybe a letter to Mr. Coyle might be helpful, specifying where where we have the issue. And maybe
And
asking him.
I could send a couple of, I believe I took a couple of photos of it
I believe
when
you-
we were
I
there.
believe you did.
You want to send it to me
I'll
and
have
I'll
to check for
forward
those,
them?
yeah. I'll see if I can.
Okay. So could I have a motion?
I move that we send Mr. Coyle an email with Dan's pictures attached to it and an explanation of our concerns about the drainage.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, it's a vote. Okay. We have the request for determination of applicability submitted by the New Yens for 4 Winchester Avenue.
What about the enforcement order? Do we want to lift that?
Well, let's discuss that. They didn't file, and that's what generated the enforcement order, and now they have filed. So, I guess the question is, my only thought about requiring them to file a notice of intent would be the effect of runoff from the roof of the shed. Now, I don't think the roof area, frankly, is that big.
Right. The shed doesn't seem big enough for that to be a significant issue.
And my memory is that that property there is fairly flat.
And there also, I mean, there seemed to be a little bit of doubt as to whether they were really so close to the wetland area that it would make a significant difference.
I mean, I think it was appropriate for us to issue the enforcement order because they were within 100 feet of the channel, clearly defined.
Well, we do have the no-build zone, but that's
They're outside
exempt
that.
the minor activities. Is it within the 25 feet or
It's
no?
not.
Okay.
No.
It's well outside.
So that was my only question. Is it within the 25
65
feet? And,
I wouldn't call this minor though. It's a big building.
oh, okay.
If I recall, was everything grassed in? I don't know if we got a close enough
It
look
was.
to
It
tell.
was fairly close to the boundary of the adjacent property on South Street. But I mean, again, as a layman, it appeared to be properly constructed.
Mhm.
We didn't play any role, as you know, in the issuance of the building permit, so I can only presume that, and they made a representation that they did have a building permit, so if there are any issues with the way the shed was constructed, it's not within our jurisdiction.
The site itself seemed fine otherwise.
I think, but for the fact that they were within 100 feet of the channel, they
Mhm.
wouldn't have needed to file with us, and that again is why
Right.
they had to file. So, again, I don't know if anyone feels strongly about the need for the property owners to issue a notice of intent. I don't see it myself, because I think, again, it's not a wetland, it's a clearly defined channel, and it's not on their property.
My only opinion was if it was within the 25 feet, that was more than a minor, then, but if it's not, then I don't feel that
Right.
we should need it.
Okay. Well, in that case, does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to lift the enforcement order
Okay.
for Winchester Ave.
And with respect to the request for determination of applicability?
Oh, and negative determination.
Okay.
Issue a negative determination. I'll second that.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. And I think the last item on the agenda
You just
is...
have to sign
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
DOA.
Oh, apparently, at the last meeting, we had approved an amendment of the order conditions for 33 Appleton Road. That was the project where there was going to be a pedestrian crossing and they had to take down some trees.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
And apparently the signature page,
Somebody took it.
What?
I can't find it.
That's odd.
Good boy.
okay,
It's the second time this has happened.
I'm going to say it was misplaced.
Okay.
All right, so
Gremlins.
Ms.
I-
Conroy,
I went through everything and I could not find it.
Gremlins.
Ms. Conroy has given, can kind of compare a duplicate page.
Okay.
So,
Thank God for Miss Conway.
and then Chuck, I'll need that back so Dan can sign.
Right. Alright. Get through. And then the Route 1220 enforcement order, we're just leaving it on there.
Yeah, we're going to monitor that until they complete work. Clearly, they have some ways to go on that. And then the last item, well, we have the meeting minutes, but before we get to that, we have the notice of intent for the Tesla charging station.
Yes.
The mail has been passed.
Okay.
First of all, is there a motion?
Motion for, what are we voting on again?
This is the notice of intent for
Tesla.
for Tesla.
Which goes to me, so.
What would it be? I can't remember. To approve. the
Well, they
notice-
filed a notice of intent,
Yes.
so we need to issue an order of conditions.
Right, right. With the following conditions.
With the following conditions.
I would make a motion to approve the project
Okay.
with the following conditions as delineated by Dan.
Shall I read them
No,
in
I
full
think you
or
can
no?
just, I
No,
don't think
just
it's
give them the
necessary. They are
numbers.
posted on our website.
All
Just
right.
read by number which ones you think are
Um,
appropriate.
I would say number 1, no storage, maintenance, or refueling of construction equipment or other machinery within the buffer zone. 2, as-built plan. 3, signed copy of the order of conditions. 4, there's no replication area, so not 4.
Right?
Erosion and sediment control measures,
Not applicable.
not applicable. There's no replication. Riprap's not an issue. Number 8 shall be subject to each and every condition stated herein. Snow storage isn't their issue. That would be the mall, so
Right.
not 9. There are no rare or endangered species. Deleterious materials, that's not going to be an issue. 12, and are there any detention measures made
Not
with
at
this?
all.
So not that's it. So
Standard order plus.
standard order plus
1, 2,
1,
3, and 8.
2, 3, and 8. Yep.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote.
Here we go.
Shall I keep this?
You can keep it if
You
you
can
want.
have it.
Okay.
It's available on our
Copy of
website.
it.
Do we need to continue the Masad family
Yeah. we gotta vote
because
to
they
dec-
didn't come? they didn't
Vote to
show
decide
up?
to continue that, or what?
Well, it's now, I have 13 minutes past 8 o'clock.
They
We have-
are.
Is it really a continuance, or
I
is
believe
it
you're
we
right.
have to wait back to hear back from them?
Um,
Oh wait,
obviously-
we have the letter, right? Isn't this?
No, that's
That's
a
nothing to
notice
do
of
about
appeal,
this.
which
This is a
has
whole
nothing to do with
separate
the
thing.
request. No,
All right.
separate issue. So, we will not take up the 7:30 hearing, as there's no one from Masad Family LLC to present it. And we could send a letter to Mr. Kravosky asking him what the intention is of the applicant regarding that request for determination.
Okay. So are we going to continue the hearing then, or what?
Well, we don't know what they want to do
That's
at this
why
point.
we're sending the letter.
So then they'd have to refile?
No one was here
Yeah,
to request a continuance.
right.
As far as I'm concerned, and again, this is one opinion, they did not contact us. They had filed this and put it on the agenda.
We don't know what their wishes are now.
And since we need, it's up to the applicant to request a continuance of a hearing. I don't believe that we have the authority to do so. So I would not carry it on the next agenda. If they wish to do something with this, they can contact us. And what I was going to suggest, and I would take a motion or ask for a motion of this, to send a letter to Ms. Kravosky and ask him, in light of what's happened with the Masad Family LLC project and the filing of the notice of appeal, what their intentions are with regard to the request for determination for 30 Faith Ave.
You need a motion?
I do.
I will move what you just said, to send a letter to
Okay.
to Mr. Kravosky.
To Mr.
Yeah.
Kravosky, yes, because he filed on behalf of Masad Family LLC. And Sheila, I can send you a draft of that.
Okay.
But first of all, is there a
Anyone
second
want a second?
to Chuck's
I'll
motion?
second
Okay. Is there any further discussion? If there is none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Okay. I believe we have the minutes of the May 14th meeting. And there was a question, I know there was a question concerning whether, I think we had a quorum or sufficient members to sign it. And Ms. Conroy conferred with Ellen Gabry, and we were advised that we could. So,
Have you got them checked?
Is this
You wanna
your-
work on those?
I don't think
Yeah,
I was
it
there.
is.
Yeah, I
Oh,
wasn't there.
you weren't there?
Louise
Okay.
wasn't there.
With
Oh,
your
okay.
modifications.
Okay, so,
May
So I think-
14th, that's the meeting I missed.
yeah, and Chuck as well. So I
Right.
think, Dan, it's you and I. So did you have a chance to look these over?
Let me take a look at that. I didn't get all the way through
Got
them.
my
Okay.
folder today.
I didn't have anything to add to yours
One of
yet.
them's gonna have to vote, too.
Well, in order for
We
them to
can
vote,
vote to approve them anyway,
It-
right, even though we weren't here, is that what she said?
Yeah, that's how it goes. We're gonna need 3 votes, right?
yeah.
So
All right,
one of them can vote if you people say that those minutes are accurate.
okay. Then
They
that's what
can
we'll,
vote to agree that they're accurate.
or they could watch the hearing again.
Yeah, but that, I don't think it's necessary.
Okay.
Other than the modifications that were already written on there, I didn't see anything that stands out.
Sheila, I made one change.
Okay,
Under 715, it's page 2, Joseph Martin.
yeah,
It's about halfway down the page. The first word is on-site. says on-site.
Okay, yeah?
On-site drainage ditch in Auburn Street, and then you put a period. What I did is I substituted a comma, and then, no, it makes sense, with the addition of a second small infiltration basin,
Okay,
because otherwise it wouldn't be a sentence.
all right.
And aside from that, oh yeah, the other change I had was on page 4, and this is for 1 St. Mark Street.
Yeah,
And it actually begins, it's the third line down, Michael Garland recused himself as he is representing the client. That there should be the phrase "in pending litigation" after that.
the client in pending.
And aside from that, I have no other changes.
Okay,
So may I have a motion?
I would move to accept the minutes of May
14th.
14th, 2014 as amended.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion?
so daring.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? It's a vote. Okay. So Sheila, you're working on the meeting minutes for June 25 and for July 9?
Right, now, I'm trying to think, June 11th. I don't know if we voted on those or not. I was trying to quickly look through here to see.
I thought we had.
It's 1 and 3. William Street.
If you don't think we did, then we can take them up again at the next meeting. Unless you want to do them now.
All right, well, either that or I can just double check and see.
Could you? Because again, I thought, I had checked it off and I thought we had
Yeah,
approved those, but I could be mistaken. Okay.
it seemed like we were supposed to continue them to the last meeting, these. And I'll look,
What are those?
June 11th.
Oh, is that right? Okay. All right. Again, I'm not sure.
All right, I'll
I had
check.
checked. All right, that's fine. And if you find that we did not consider them, we'll put them on the agenda for the August 13th meeting.
Okay,
Okay, so we have a couple of things to do. We have the site walk, or site visits for the property across 281 Packagug Street, and also the property behind Forest Park on Hampton Street before Kimball Street. Okay. Is there anything else?
big project, but that's not until the,
August 9th, are we going to do that all on the same day?
Well, we don't have to. I mean, I don't know if any of you can get out. August 9th is 3 weeks from now.
Right.
So, I mean, if we can try to get together, I know that we have different conflicting schedules.
Mm-hmm.
If some of us could get out there individually, that would be fine.
You talking about West Street or you talking about something?
no,
I'm talking about the
Packagug.
site visits to the Packagug, across from 281
Oh,
Packagug
281.
Street.
Oh, I can probably go up there.
And I don't think it would take that long to see it, right?
Right.
Okay. So probably,
Yeah,
Very obvious.
Go there sometime.
maybe, over the
Do
weekend
that
or...
and then.
Yeah, I
right
can
after
try to take a
work.
look at that,
It's
too.
still light till 9 o'clock almost.
Right.
Okay.
Send an email.
Is that-
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Send
can
an email
communicate
or
by
something.
email, that's right. Is there anything else?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion to close? Or to adjourn, rather? Sorry.
I move to end this meeting.
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's a vote. Thank you very much.